It's Justin here, and we're back in the Summit Racing video studio to officially start wrenching on our 2020 Toyota Tacoma Project Wayfinder build series. And since the party starts the minute the Taco's tires hit the dirt, today we're going to be addressing the Project Wayfinder's off-road performance. The first thing we'll do is bolt up a new exhaust system, courtesy of our friends over at AWE Tuning. Not only will it give the gas pedal a little bit more oomph, but it offers the Taco some personality in the sound department as well. If you're not familiar with AWE Tuning, they've been around the sport compact market for quite a while. But now they're offering great exhaust options for late model performance and truck applications. And they're new to Summit Racing as well. We'll get the details on the new AWE exhaust directly from the AWE folks. So we have Sarah here from AWE. Hi Sarah, how are you today?
Hey guys, I'm doing great. How are you guys doing?
Tell us a little bit about your company history, and let's just start with that.
Perfect, yeah. So we didn't actually start out in the truck market at all. We began with Porsche, Audi, Volkswagen back in 1991. But since then, we figured out we have pretty cool technology that we could apply to a bunch of different makes, models, applications. So we grew from there into more Euro, like BMW, Sport Compact. And then most recently, we dove into the truck market head first, and it's been one of our fastest growing lines. So we're super happy to cover Tacoma.
Let's actually get into the system on our Toyota here. What makes this, as great and, I think even better than some of your competitors' exhaust?
Absolutely. So I think we do a ton more sound testing than a lot of our competitors. We really want a system that not only is going to fit great, but it's going to sound great as well. And if we can't produce something that's going to sound and perform much better than stock, we don't release it at all. So with Tacoma, we obviously started with the true dual system that separates us from everyone else making a system for Tacoma. But we also have 180 technology, which is this resonator right here. So this is a Helmholtz style resonator. It has a straight through design so you don't lose out on performance, and does not have packing material. Rather, it has strategic openings in the center of this resonator. So what it does is it cancels out drone frequencies 180 degrees out. So you can still enjoy the sound of your vehicle when you're at throttle, but when you want to be cruising and you don't want those drone frequencies to bother you inside the cabin, this is going to solve all those problems.
So we're back here with our mini ductor Venom HP. We're going to attempt to wrangle some rusty exhaust bolts here. So we've got a broken bolt due to rust, even though it's a 3-year-old car. So what we're going to do is use our induction heater, try to get this thing hot and work the rest of this out without having to drill, tap, or cut off these remnants. So smoking's good, get it nice and hot. There you go. It's the magic of induction. Thanks, science. If you've ever been camping or off-roading, sometimes I might need a little extra power to get to that choice fishing spot or hunting camp that's off the beaten path. So upgraded engine performance and sound is an absolute must for any sporting rig like Project Wayfinder. First things first, we'll tackle the intake. We'll get that engine sucking in some fresh air with a cold air intake system from K&N. Follow along on our install and you'll see how a few quick and easy upgrades can make a big difference on a truck like our Project Wayfinder. All right, so we're still here under the hood of Project Wayfinder and realized that this heavy hood and a factory prop rod got in our way. So we're installing these gas prop rod kits from Redline Tuning to help clear up some space in our engine bay and some more room to work. All right, we're good to go. The K&N filter is installed along with the gas prop rods from Redline Tuning. Now back to Justin to talk about the suspension.
Next, we're going to be installing a Tuff Country suspension kit that improves Project Wayfinder's off-road handling and gives us a bit more clearance to fit a larger wheel and tire package. A Wheeler's bump stop kit came in handy here as well.
For our Toyota build, we now have to swap out these studs, the factory studs on our top hats, with longer studs for the spacer. Normally what you can do is take a hammer and you beat them, but you could potentially bend this real thin plate. So instead, what we're gonna do is slowly press them out using a trick with a socket and a bench vise. So we'll just take a socket that's about the diameter of that head, assemble it on our bench vise, and then we're just gonna squeeze it out. Just like that. So I'm gonna take our longer stud, insert it into the hole, use our longer socket, so that way we don't mess up the threads when we press it back together. Firmly grasp it, squeeze till it seats. And there you go, nicely pressed. Let's get the other two done. When you start spinning, you just gotta hold the top here. Make sure you don't ruin that strut by spinning the shaft too much. So we're about ready to install our new upper control arms here, but in Toyota's infinite wisdom, we have to somehow make this bolt disappear up into the engine bay. So it's gonna take a little bit of maneuvering and finagling, but we found that it's easier if you bring the bolt up first, tuck it between some of these hoses and wires, and kind of just prep it in the area. And then from there, we'll add in our control arm, and assembly a little bit easier. So we gotta start with our washer stack from the factory OE washer. Slide that in first. Then our control arm. Then between the control arm and the strut tower, insert one of our new washers. Making sure to remember our ABS wire comes on top of the control arm. And then as we are feeding our bolt through, don't forget our other second new washer between the strut tower and the control arm. Drop the washer. Here we go. And then the last OE washer, drop the nut as well. And now we'll attach our control arm to our upper knuckle. So now we got our control arm bolt in. Go ahead and mount our knuckle and upper control arm ball joint together. And then now we'll just start reassembling the other various components of the knuckle. So our sway bar link. Now let's not forget our ABS wire here on a new bracket. And then we'll snug these down and then get them torqued. With our front suspension torqued, it's ready to hit the road. Let's get started on the rear. We're starting with an add-a-leaf system to the existing leaf springs. Pro tip, hook some ratchet straps on the back of the frame to hold up the suspension while you work. I'll toss it back over to Justin to give you the finer details.
So we're checking out our rear suspension, and we just wanted to show you guys kind of what this looks like all set up with our new leaf spring installed. Now, a lot of you guys might be wondering why we went with an add-a-leaf versus adding a block, and it actually is more beneficial for the Toyota in suspension and performance. Now, with the block, you're simply just essentially dropping the rear axle down a little bit to give you the desired lift that you need. You're adding another leaf into the pack, and it's allowing not only the suspension to hold more weight, but it's going to allow the truck to sit up higher as well. So you're going to be able to use that full amount of suspension travel you had before. The geometry is going to be correct, and the truck's going to ride even better versus if it had blocks. Now we're going to be installing our Wheeler Off-Road's Super Bump U-Bolt Flip Kit set and flipping those U-bolts around. This kit provides extra ground clearance and added protection to your vehicle when driving off-road.
So we're going to install these new bump stops here. This will help protect our suspension under high travel situations and provide a little better ground clearance.
These bolts are a little long, so we had to cut them down a bit for a better fit. With all that, our new kit is installed. To finish off this episode, we're fitting the Taco with these fuel off-road wheels wrapped in 33-inch Atturo Blade XT tires. All these upgrades will help Project Wayfinder stay sure-footed on the trail without sacrificing its on-road drivability. After all, a good sportsman-friendly rig has to be capable handling any terrain it comes across, both on and off-road. And we have Michael from Atturo Tires here in the studio to help us talk about these sweet tires we put on our Project Wayfinder build and why we chose them. So, hey Michael, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me here.
Tell us a little bit about this particular tire here and what went into the design and some of the thoughts behind it.
That is our Trailblade XT. So we developed that tire after getting feedback from our customers who either were riding on a mud terrain and they loved that aggressive style and the off-road ability, or somebody who was on an all-terrain and wanted something a little bit more aggressive, but neither wanted to go all the way to that end of the spectrum. And so the XT really bridges that gap where it is a hybrid tire between that aggressive off-road mud terrain and the more road-friendly drivability for everyday use kind of all-terrain. So in that Trailblade XT, you've got large shoulder tread blocks like a mud terrain. So it's got 90% of the off-road grip that you get out of a mud terrain, but it's got the smaller center blocks, so it's far more comfortable on the highway. It doesn't make nearly as much noise as the mud terrain. It's got better tread life. It wears much more evenly, and it's got a much broader group of applications out of that tire as well.
And just like that, our lift wheels and tires are all installed, but we're not through yet. In the next episode, we'll take a good look at some trail armor, bumpers, and recovery upgrades to help protect this taco from whatever the trail throws at it. And if you haven't already, make sure to click that subscribe button and ring that notification bell so you'll get updates when each new episode drops. So until next time, I'm Justin with Summit Racing, and thanks for watching.